Hello everyone and welcome to Pitskill.io. We are back with season 18 and it's time for the Porsche Cup to start here in earnest at Barcelona. And got a very special surprise for you today, as I am joined in the commentary box by none other than Pitskill.io's lead steward, Casper. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you that I could join. This is going to be quite fun.
This is going to be an interesting race. It is proven to be extremely popular, the Porsche Cup series here, as we now have 36 drivers on this 4.6 kilometer Barcelona circuit. You can already see it's a bit of a struggle for people to find space for qualifying, but they have got 11 minutes left to get themselves a lap in. And the first driver we're going to see setting a lap time is our championship runner-up from last season, Rhys Tattersall. One of the rapid drivers in these Porsche Cup cars, as he comes across the line with a 1:46.5. Did mention before that that was the sort of lap time he was getting during his practice, so already on the pace. Is there anyone here you're looking out for here, Casper?
Well, yeah, Rhys he has been proven to be rapid in these cars. But then we also have quite a few of the stewards racing. Balázs, and that was it. Yeah, it's only Balázs from the stewards.
Oh, well, he better be on his best behaviour then, now that we've outed him as a steward.
Yeah, well, anyone who has been paying attention in the community knows it, but I hope he's on his best behavior.
And so far, looking quite rapid, although that first lap from Rhys, a whole 1.2 seconds faster than anyone else out there. I wonder if that is just a symptom of others struggling to find space, or whether Rhys has really got the class of the field tonight.
Some people might actually be struggling with the car itself. I see quite a few yellow dots around the track map at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's people trying to get out of the way of someone on a faster lap, as we have got, as you mentioned, Jack Lee on a scary lap of the circuit. I imagine he's out on an out lap or an invalidated lap and just diving out of the way of just about everyone who comes up behind him. It's certainly a full track here, and with only a 1:40 qualifying time, very hard to make yourself some space.
Definitely, like looking at the track map, there's quite a lot of people in Sector 3 at the moment, but then there is some space dotted about, but Sector 3 is looking really cramped at the moment.
Well, we have a new provisional pole sitter, Johan Leff, our championship winner from last season out, and 1:46.345, not that much faster than Rhys, and on the blinkers is totally rapid in these cars, and it's looking like this is going to be another two-way battle for the championship. And I just hope that both of them are able to keep it up and attend enough races to make it count, because last season was unfortunately somewhat decided by absences, but with these two at the top of the grid, it could be close.
Definitely. The gap is just over a tenth between them at the moment, and Leffe is still improving on his lap this next one, so it will be really interesting to watch.
If we take a look on board with Leffe, see how he chucks it around this final sector. Worth pointing out for anyone who is new to these cars, these are they have ABS but no traction control, so this third sector here at Barcelona, all about that right foot control, especially coming out some of the lower speed corners. There's a little bit of a snap there for Johan. Still up on his previous best though, and this is going to be an absolutely phenomenal lap.
He found a lot of time in that sector 3 there.
Yeah, and unfortunately lost a little bit there coming out the final corner, so there's definitely more time in here for Johan. And it would be remiss of me not to talk about our series sponsor, Chris Wright. This is the Porsche Cup sponsored by SimQuips. And it's currently sitting P4 for tonight's grid. Oh, and just hitting a little bit of the traffic. Interesting with the differences in times. Ooh, as Chris has a big old snap of oversteer coming through towards turn 5. But we've got such a spread of times, it's going to be hard for people not to catch up with someone on, even when they're both on flying laps. And if you just take a look at that track map, and you can see the extent of the problem that these drivers are facing.
Chris has actually found himself quite a lot of space in front. But he also has Reese soon right on his bumper, so we'll see what ends up with that.
Yeah, I think Reese may just want to make himself a little bit of space. He's currently on an invalid lap and does not want to be starting a push lap right on someone's bumper, although I think Chris getting out of the way, allowing Reese through, knows he's probably going to get a little bit of a benefit of a tow if he just sticks in behind Reese. Oh, and he's got Johan behind as well. If my eyes do not deceive me, I believe that is Johan Leffert.
Yeah, that is Johan. So Chris is just, he's in a sandwich between the top 2 at the moment.
As we take a look around the rest of this grid and see who is returning to the Porsche Cup this season, we've got Marco Lorenzon, who was steadily improving over the previous season and returns now sitting down in P25. Has got just over 5 minutes remaining to try and improve on his time. And as the ACC cameras decide to put us in the middle of a field, we've got Tadeusz Szynski, who's been, again, a decent pace in these Porsche Cup races. Not quite up there with the Leffers and the Tattersalls, but been in amongst the mix in most of the races. And of course, we've got quite a few of the Pitskill regulars in there. Oh, there's someone's in the dirt.
We're now up to 37 drivers in the server out of the 39 signed up, so quite a good turnaround.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm excited or scared for the start of this race, in all honesty. But Sam McCarthy, who was challenging for the championship right up until the final race last season, currently without a time, and with a stacked grid like this one, needs to get himself further up the order, is just going to be swamped in amongst the traffic at the start of this race.
Yeah, you don't want to be at the back of the field if you want to contend at the front, especially with the size of grid that we have today.
And yep, as Sam off over the sausage curb, and well, that's not going to do this lap or his next lap any good, so goes back to the pits. He's going to have to head out very quickly here. He's going to have a chance for, well, just the one flyer now.
That was one massive snap he got there.
So let's see who is improving. Daniel Dees, who is a new driver, at least to the Porsche Cups. Not sure if you've seen Daniel around.
Not the name I actually recognize.
But it is a... oh wait, no, it has a silver tag, so it must have been around for a while. So apologies, Daniel.
He joined back in May.
Oh, good to have you with the community, Daniel. And there's a decent improvement up into P15.
Problem with looking at the delta is that I see someone improving by like 1.5 seconds before realizing that they're 5 seconds off the fastest time. So 1.5 seconds can move you quite far up the grid, but if you won't contend with the quickest.
Oh, there's quite the snap there from, I'm not sure who that was, but there was a car across the track. Thankfully, it didn't get in the way of the cars behind us. We're seeing a number of yellow flags coming out now. Not sure if that's people just moving out the way or people struggling now that they're having to push to find that last little bit of time as we come into what will be everyone's final lap now. As the clock ticks past the fastest lap time, so everyone going to be approaching now onto their final lap as I think Race Out is just backing out of it.
Yeah, these cars are normally a handful, but when you try to find that last little bit.
Oh, and as Reese Tatzel was on for an improvement this lap, but has run wide of the track limits and invalidated. And with just over a minute left on the clock, I think he's going to struggle to get round to get another lap in. So this might be the end of the qualifying for Reese.
He will get another lap in. He's a minute into this lap. With a minute left on the clock, he will.
Oh yeah, just about sneak one in. And he's got plenty of track in front of him, so as long as he's fueled for it, he should be fine.
And looking at it, he's 4/10 up on this lap, even though it's invalidated.
Yeah, and he didn't go wide by much, so I don't think you can attribute that gain purely to his running wide of track limits, as runs very much over the sausage curb, and is going to cross the line with plenty of time remaining.
Oh, he has given up.
He has given up. And so, best of second place for Reese Tattersall for the start of tonight's race. As Luke Tramnut bringing it round the final sector. And I don't know if I'm missing a livery or if he is just running a plain black car. Oof. Well, whatever livery he's running, he's run it straight into a wall. So that will be the end of his qualifying session. As David Wilkinson, there's another car running a shark livery. Clearly inspired by the... I can't even... What is the name of that car? I put the
Rexy.
Rexy, of course it is. I wanted to say Steggy, and that is clearly wrong. I think we've just got a few final drivers now on to finishing off a lap. There's Christian Feig coming around the third sector, going quite deep.
Yeah, he was about 3/10 up, but lost
Nope, and
a lot of time running wide and then
even more time spinning. I think he just tried to make up for that small mistake by making an even larger one.
Yeah.
And I think this will be our final driver to cross the line is Reinder Henstra. Cross the line, improves in time but not position. And that is our grid for tonight's race. We have got...
He jumped positions up.
Leffe ahead of Tattersall and Flower, and we'll be back in just a few short moments. Oh yeah, go for it. Well, welcome back everyone, as our drivers start their engines. We are moments away from the start of this Porsche Cup race here at Barcelona. And on pole position, we have got Johan Leff, followed by Reese Tattersall. Then Flower, Weidbeck, Falk, Wright, Attas, Harry, Ahir, Odrop, Schrecker, Bohm, Wilson, Lorenzon, Hudson, Dees, McCarthy, Offie, Jasinski, Feig, Booth, Tranmer, Bagger, Eklund, Wilkson, Borgelson, Pelzer, Joel, Henstra, Twinsky, Skinner, Lee, Fish, Moravak, Kachelmeyer, Matika and Casey as our drivers head away on their formation lap.
Almost managed to read it right when they went past you, so...
Almost. I always forget that obviously when the grid this size, right at the back, they're going to be coming past the camera very fast. But we've got a long old formation lap now as the drivers get an opportunity to warm their tyres, get some temperature into the brakes, and it gives us just a little bit of a time to explain the format for tonight's race. So we've got 30 minutes light to flag, no mandatory pit stops, so this is just a sprint race, and likely with this number of drivers, especially at the front, it's just going to be 30 minutes of hot lapping.
And trying to get past the traffic of the blue flags.
Yeah, I do wonder with the spread of pace we've seen. With only a 30-minute race here, as long as there's no major incidents, they shouldn't have to contend with too much traffic of the blue flags. But field spread is really going to be a problem. And yeah, as we alluded to earlier, Sam McCarthy, who was in contention for the championship win last season, down in P16. And perhaps last season, being in the middle of the order, would have put you within touching distance of the lead. A lot of work for McCarthy to do if he wants to move up towards the sharp end of this grid.
Definitely. Being down in P16 makes it hard to advance forward. It's doable, especially in these cars as they are really unpredictable. It will be interesting to see what he can make of this race, but he needs to stay out of trouble for the first couple of laps at least.
And of course we need to keep an eye on Team Finding Nemo, as we've got Fish and who else was it? Hudson running the Nemo and Dory liveries, but we'll turn our attention to the front of the field as Left gets ready to lead this field away. Green flags and we're racing. It's a good start from Tattersall. Gets a nose ahead as they're going to come down towards the first corner. And it is just a swarm of cars behind. Reece Tattersall tries to chuck it around the outside. We've got changes in position throughout, but so far, as we've got a couple of drivers off, and I think that is Hudson I saw off the track there, I believe. But still, Tattersall and Tattersall and Leffert fighting hard. And Flower tucked in behind them as well.
Yeah, Reece managed to get ahead out of turn 2 and almost a car length ahead through turn 3, but Leffert got the better line and managed to chuck it up the inside for 4.
Not drop Tattersall, and he's right in the slipstream. It's going to be a long run down towards the hairpin as he tries to break the toe. Is Tattersall going to try and send one up the inside? Nope, thinks better of it. But we have got Marcel Falk up into 3rd position around Flower. And all throughout this field, we've got fights for position as Daniel Dees and Braga fight over P19 in this race. And this field's still so tight as we head around the final sector.
Yeah, not a lot of spins on the opening lap. I'm very impressed.
And, well, I commented on it last season, I'll comment on it again. The sound of these Porsche Cup cars is absolutely amazing. especially when you've got a grid full of them coming down the start-finish straight. Well, looks like our two race leaders have managed to drive away from the rest of the field. Some 1.5 seconds clear now of third position. I'm sure that battle over third contributed to that slightly. But these two really in a league of their own.
Yeah, Reese is all over the back of Leffe, so he might be able to, if he gets a good exit here, he might be able to make a move down the back straight into turn 10.
As we've got down in P16, battle between Lorenzon, Bohm and Sosinski. Sosinski tries to go up the inside. Oh, there's contact, and I think that is Lorenzon and Bohm off the circuit. As they crowd around the hairpin.
Oh, there's more contact
Oh,
in the back.
yep. A few yellow flags out, and it's Luca Bohm again caught up in that one.
Looked like Luca just lit up the rear tires. And,
nope, it looks like that was actually contact from the car behind pushing him around, unfortunately.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, just managed to catch that at the start of that replay. Tattersall and Leffe driven away in this one. 2.5 seconds clear their position, but barely 0.2 between them. These two have really mastered these Porsche Cup cars.
Yeah, Reese needs to keep his nerves calm. It's easy to, when you're trying to apply the pressure, just to give that little extra throttle, and that can send you around in these cars. So he needs to stay cool and just wait for his moment.
He seems to be keeping himself collected at the moment, at least, keeping that gap small, but not sniffing all over the rear of the car ahead just yet. As Roland Stricker, driver who I had a little bit of close contact with yesterday in the Double Dash Dailies, is trying to move himself up from his current P10 position around the outside at the hairpin. Not often you see that move come off, but has managed to get himself well alongside of Fahit, who's run very wide. Oh, and that is Alderop and Wilson off in the background. What happened there as they headed into turn 11 and 12? Oh, and I think that's was that the as-delivered car of Wilkinson? No, that's not Wilkinson. Apologies. I'm not sure who that was. Wilson. It was Joe Wilson just jumping over the curb there and getting himself a little unsettled.
Checking in. The last lap, Leffe pulled out 3/10 on Reese. He's trying to build a little gap to Reese and escape from his from the slipstream.
And we will keep an eye on that gap for our lead. But at the moment, there's a three-way battle over P19 as Matthias Peltzer leads Marco Lorenzon and Thorgilson. Although I think just about any way you want to look in this field, there is a battle going on. So apologies if we are missing the action of your favourite driver. There's just so much going on in this race.
Yeah, definitely. I'm keeping an eye on Sam McCarthy. He has managed to climb to P12.
Oh, well done, Sam.
Chasing down Balash and Stricker.
It's often a story we have actually seen of Sam is sometimes doesn't qualify quite as well, but has got the racecraft to pull himself forward. As we mentioned before, in these larger grids, does make the job that much more difficult.
There was a car spinning in the last chicane.
I think that was Offie. He's managed to get himself back underway, I think.
Yeah. He lost about 7 or 8 positions from that spin. That's the problem with such close grid that we have at the moment. If you spin, you drop a lot of positions.
Yeah, as you can see now, Wilson down in P27 after starting this race considerably higher up. Has dropped 9 positions because of that contact we saw earlier on. Andy Hudson also down from where he started. He's fighting his way forward. So far, biggest winner in this race, Lunatic Bragger, who's one of the few drivers in the old Porsche Cup car, moved himself up 10 positions.
And it shows that he's in the old car. He has managed the speed trap.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but that was a big old snap.
As the rear goes loose. He has managed the speed trap of 278 kilometers per hour, while the rest are hovering around 260, 270-ish, 268, 270-ish. And
wow.
He has managed the 278, so that car is rapid down the straight.
Yeah, let's have a look on that gap between him and the car behind as they come down the straight then. Closing in slightly, but I imagine, yep, now as they get towards the end of the straight, Dees looks, but nothing he can do there. So I think we've just had a change of position for P6 as Chris Wright moves his way up. See if we can catch this one. As Atas all runs deep out onto the runoff, and that's what allows Chris Wright through. Atas over the speed bumps. And our series sponsor up into the... Oh wait, sorry, that was not Atas, that was Feedback. Apologies. Atas is the car still ahead. There is another 991 out on this circuit somewhere. I don't know who's driving that one at the moment.
Oh, go hunt it down.
Oh, as Christian Fege getting his way past Jasinski up into P12. Another driver moving himself forward, up 8 positions from where he started.
Oh, it's Casey down in P36 who is in the other 991.
Oh, and I think that is the car we just saw in the runoff there as well. So differing fortunes of the 911s. Daniel Dees in the slipstream of Offie as they come down towards the first corner. Looks opts to sit into the slipstream, way too far back to even attempt to move that. That's the sensible thing. Follows him through the first sector. Offie runs a little wide.
Last lap from the 2 cars in the lead were actually they actually had the exact same last lap, both Leffe and Rees.
And this is Wilson and Hudson. I think that was just Wilson getting by Hudson into the first corner. These two battling extremely hard and continue to go at it.
Wilson trying to climb back up the grid, following his earlier misfortune.
Definitely got the pace. He's been lapping some 1 to 2 seconds faster than the cars around him. Next car up the road that's actually on his pace is Tramner in P18, so should see Joe Wilson moving forward. And I think that is the 911 cork in a bottle just ahead of them, I think. Car of Casey. You see it's so much smaller than the rest of the cars around it. And just getting it bullied a little bit there. Oh, that must be scary being a slower driver in amongst this.
He's doing his best to try and keep out of the way.
Yeah, it's certainly avoiding him safely, so well done there. It's not easy when you're getting swarmed by faster drivers. There's Joe Wilson looking to make another position, this time on Skinner, going around the outside, late on the brakes. Gives Skinner plenty of space, and that's Wilson up into 21st position.
Managed to keep it on track as well. As we have seen quite a few drivers running wide in that turn 1 runoff area.
There's Trammer looking up the inside of Lorenzon, who takes to the dirt. Oh, Lorenzon trying to come back and defend that. But Trammer giving him ample space as we've got a car off in front of them. I think that is another of our back markers. I think that is Martinka just off the circuit there, getting out of the way of this battle. So Trammer up into P17. And now Lorenzon has got his mirrors filled with Lee.
Making it a three-way battle.
Oh, Lee has a
looking to
think
make a
about it. Has a think and then thinks, no, this could only end in death. Also, we've got yellow flags out for Roland Schrecker. Just already running wide out of turn 13. Oh, and then out on the sausage curb.
Managed to save it quite nicely, even though he lost a little bit of speed.
And Robert Weibeck is caught back up to Chris Wright. He's now looking up the inside, and with Parry close in behind as well. Wow, that was clinical there from Weibeck. Up the inside. Right, left him plenty of room, and well, now Parry's going to be the next one to try and have a go at Chris Wright.
Showed his intentions very clear, and Chris just gave him ample racing room. Great fight.
Looking through this field, it's hard to decide which battle I want to watch. We're checking with Alpha P22. Luca Bohm on the back of Andy Hudson. Although in this fight we also have Eklund, Wilson and Booth all chasing each other down. This must be the such a tense battle. I imagine these drivers are going to be exhausted after this race. It's only been 15 minutes so far, and has been action-packed all throughout the grid.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very impressed with how clean the battles has been. The drivers have battled now for...
Eklund goes well over the sausage curb, and that's going to open the door for Wilson to come through. A little bit of door banging behind. Simon Eklund up the inside of Wilson. And is that Booth as well getting involved?
Yeah, a little bit of rubbing, but as you say, rubbing is racing, so as long as no one is clearly doing something wrong, all good.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever watched these Porsche Cup cars in real life, I don't think there's many a corner where they're not rubbing door to door.
I wonder if the rear tires are starting to hurt a little bit now.
As we've got a change for the lead. Reese Tattersall has found his way past Johan left. Let's see if we can catch... Oh, his left goes wide out onto the gravel, and this is what opened the door for Tattersall around the outside. Oh, beautiful racing between the pair of them. And now Reese Tattersall into the lead. I wonder if those tyres of left are just going away a little bit. But not dropping away at all. These two continuing to battle hard. I think we have a similarly intense battle over P3 in this race. It's Jesse Flower chasing after Falk, some 9 seconds back from our lead pair.
This have an intense battles for the podium positions.
And it's not only at the front where we've got intense battles. It's down in P21, it's still as mad as it was. How can these drivers be so close with such minimal contact between them? This is madness.
Impressive to watch, to be brutally honest. But they managed to keep these cars in control, still managed to battle it out.
Yeah, this is real quality racing back here. This is respectful, but intense as anything. And Skinner defending the inside. Could present an opportunity for Bohm here. Oh, is there a little bit of contact there. I need to be careful not to get beached out on that part of the track, but I think that was just a difference in speed through the corner between Skinner and Bohm. Got a little bit caught out there.
Yeah, and some looked like there was some rear tires slipping away for whoever was in front of them.
And we got battle into the first corner between Lee and Tranmere. Lee clawing his way up to P18 in this race. It's just ahead of them. Daniel Dees continuing to stick to the back of Braga in the 991. Has yet to find a way through.
I just noticed that we have had a change or position on the podium. Jesse Flower has managed to get past Falk.
Oh, has got past, and Falk has dropped some way back actually.
Yeah, he's been contended by Wiedbeck for that P4 position.
Yeah, Wiedbeck and Attis, and with Chris Wright not far behind. Is Falk just struggling with the tyres a little bit at this point in the race?
Will we see another change of position on the podium with soon less than 8 minutes to go? Probably very unlikely, but anything can happen in these cars.
Feedback and Attis keeping with him. There's still just less than 8 minutes remaining, and if they continue to apply the pressure, yeah, it does look like Falk just running slightly wide there. And they have got the back marker traffic ahead to contend with as well. So all of this could feed into this battle. This Falk getting and the blinkers and the back marker on the apex, the most awkward place. And it really looks like it's Chris Wright who's losing out the most because of this, just having to go all the way around the outside of the back marker, trying to give them plenty of space. And I do feel for the back marker in that instance, just not the easiest place in the track to come across 4 cars wanting to get past you. But it now has created a little bit of field spread, and it's just Harry and Wright together on circuit now.
Yeah, the battle for P20, 21 and 22 is still running.
As you say, that battle, Joe Wilson getting very sideways through the final sector. That opened up that gap a little bit. Not going to have the easiest of runs down towards the first corner.
There's a car stranded on the inside of turn 4. Hopefully he can manage to get out of the way nicely.
There's Jerome. Not wanting to send it around the outside of the first corner. Can be a risky move. And going through now through the first sector as ahead of them. Another battle. And who is that? I think that's... Is that Wilson and Hudson ahead of these two? No, who is that? That's Sam McCarthy. I'm sure that's McCarthy. No. I'm getting really confused.
It's getting dark. Hard to see deliveries.
Well, this is Sam McCarthy, who's on the back of Balazs through the final corner.
The biggest climber so far is Lee, 14 positions up from his qualifying.
Yeah, we've seen Lee in the battles all throughout this race, and has definitely shown he's got the race pace over his qualifying pace. As Sam McCarthy runs it a little deep in that overtaking attempt.
Yeah, he's trying to give the position back.
Sends it in, comes in a bit hot, and yeah, doesn't make the corner himself. So yeah, you can see they're slowing it down, and position is returned. So battle will commence.
And good sportsmanship there. Reese Tattersall has managed to open up a 2-second gap to Leffe now.
Yeah, I do wonder if Leffe's tyres were just going away from him, maybe running a slightly more aggressive setup to get the pole position in qualifying. That, of course, can change setups between qualifying and the race. And
then also this track is quite harsh on the tyres in general, so...
Yeah, the left tyres do end up screaming a lot of this circuit, although track temperature is only 20 degrees for this race. Nothing in comparison to what we'll have on Wednesday. where I think some testing has shown that we're going to have track temperatures of 40 degrees. Enjoy live streaming that one.
Yeah. Track temperature doesn't really affect us that much, but it will be really interesting to see how the drivers manage to cope with it.
As Sam McCarthy trying another move up the inside, keeping it within the track realms this time, and such close battling between the pair of them.
O'Hare tries to switch back in turn 3 to get the inside for turn 4, but looked like the car flipped a little bit mid-corner, so he didn't get the run he wanted.
Looks like McCarthy has held on to that position for now. Looked like Balazs wanted to fight it back, but McCarthy opening that gap out a little bit now. But has got Schricker now 5.5 seconds up the road. I think P10 is going to be the most you can hope for from this race. And talking of Schricker, is now right on the back of Chris Wright.
I think they actually exchanged positions earlier in this lap. I think I saw Schricker in front of Chris, and then Chris managed to get him back.
I think Chris, one of the drivers to have suffered a bit since the start of this race, did climb his way up to 5th, I think, at one point, but has been overtaken a few times and now has Schricker for company.
Schricker using the flash down the main straight, trying to get into Chris's head.
I do think I recall Chris drives without a rear view mirror, so not going to get in his head that much unless he's lighting up the cockpit of the car.
How can he manage to drive without a rear view mirror? I would be afraid to just have someone sending it without knowing.
I think he runs the radar, just not the mirror.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I don't know. I find sometimes I find myself driving too much in the mirror if I've got someone behind me anyway. Maybe it's useful just not to have it there. As we've got yellow flags out for Falk.
Oh no.
So what's happened here? Coming down towards the hairpin. These two teammates here. Oh, and almost looked like they're about to have a synchronized spin there, but the lead car managed to survive it. I think that was Atas, the other driver. As we missed the end of the race. It was so exciting. As Reese Tattersall wins here at Barcelona, followed by Leffett. The third was Flower. Atas takes P4. And after that late spin from Falk, Vidbet takes P5. Falk P6. Harry in P7. Chris Wright, our championship sponsor, takes P8. Schricker in P9. And Sam McCarthy rounds out our top 10. That was an absolutely mad race. So much so that I completely failed to realise we were even approaching the last minutes of that.
It was a hectic 30 minutes of racing.
I mean, it was tiring for us commentators on it, as we've got a spinner. I think that is the back marker of Casey getting involved in that. Skinner's was around too. Oh, Skinner. I think that was Skinner just rejoining the circuit there. Not quite sure what happened there, but these three will come to cross the line. P24, 20. Oh, as Skinner backs out of it. I think he realised he just carried too much speed going across the runoff of the final corner. Opts to give those places back, so that's good sportsmanship there.
I don't think he managed to give them back in time though, as it shows Skinner in front of Panmure and Eklund.
Oh yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah, the start-finish line is quite soon after the final corner. And there we have it.
But a good thing for this season is that... oh wait, never mind. I was going to say that, oh well, we can add time post-race, but since this is a series, we can't do that, as it's only for the leagues.
Oh, there we have it. Round 1 was won by Reese Tattersall, followed by Johan Leffe and Jesse Flower rounds out our podium. And I'll be back on Wednesday for the driving of the VIP race, where Casper will be providing... Well, will it be you, or will it be someone else providing the live stewarding?
Oh, I will be there.
Just so I know who to blame for my penalties. And yep, and then next week, same time on Monday, we will return with the Porsche Cup as we go to the Circuit of the Americas. Be interesting to see how these cars fare around that track. Until then, I have been Roy Waller. Thank you very much for joining me, Casper.
Thank you.
And have a very lovely rest of your night.